Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and this is part 1 of the video showdown between the Q9 Global and the BlackJack II, both on the AT&T network. Both very similar devices, in the same kind of price range, but there's going to be one true winner at the end of this. First, let's compare the devices. The Q9 is definitely thicker. By thicker, I mean wider. So if we kind of stack them this way, you can see that the Q9 is actually 1/4 of an inch, maybe even 1/2 of an inch wider and a little bit taller. They're about the same thickness, but that's deceiving. Let me show you why. I'm going to take out the battery of the BlackJack II, the massive battery. It's 1700 milliamp hours. It's huge. And right now I actually have the standard battery in the Q9. And the standard battery is pretty small. It's only 1130 milliamp hours. Now let's see what happens to the thickness when we put in the massive extended battery on the Q9. This is 1800 milliamp hours, even bigger than the BlackJack. And so it slides in like so, and then it comes with another cover that you can place on here. Wow. And it should snap into place here. Looks like it's stuck. Okay, we finally got the cover on. Now it's quite a different story between the thickness of the BlackJack II compared to the Q9. Whoops, wrong back. Here we go. Now it's the BlackJack II is definitely the winner here in keeping its thinness with a huge battery. So if you're worried about the size of your device, the Q9 is absolutely bigger. If we flip over to the back, and you can see all of my fingerprints here on the Q9, or on the BlackJack II, I should say. And the Q9 has a rubbery coating on the back, and it feels really good in your hand when you're typing because it doesn't feel like the device is going to slip out of your hands because it's really smooth. On the back, both of these have stereo speakerphones. So down here there are 2 speakers, and up here there are 2 speakers. The cameras are both placed at the same place, right at the top of the phone, although the Q9 has a flash that goes on constantly if you turn it on, rather than flashing when you take the picture. The BlackJack II does not have a flash. So let's go to each device and take a look around the entire. I'm going to clean it off a little bit, so many fingerprints, and take a look at the entire device. Here on the front we have several dedicated hardware buttons on the keyboard. One for email, one for camera. Here for silent mode, the BlackJack I also had these buttons, although they've added a few. So here's singular video. I'll never use that. Here's another one for AT&T's homepage. I'll never use that either. And you can't change the function of any of these buttons. And we can see that the number buttons are clustered in one area rather than being spread apart as with the original BlackJack. And here we have a rotary thumb wheel in the front instead of one on the side. These buttons too are very fingerprint prone. They are the same layout that you would find on the original BlackJack. The D-pad is much bigger, thankfully. If you had a BlackJack I, you know that the D-pad was very difficult to press because it was so tiny. You would often mispress it when you went to go and hit one of the soft keys. So that's good. Turning over to the side, we have a slot for a proprietary jack, a volume up and down button, nothing on the bottom. On the other side is the slot for the micro SD card. These flaps, by the way, are more resilient than they were on the original BlackJack, so I don't anticipate these falling off. And a power button at the top. On the Q9, of course, we have the fantastic keyboard, much larger than the BlackJack II. We have some dedicated hardware buttons too on the bottom. I love this. This is a shortcut to your speakerphone, so instead of having to hold in the green button for 2 seconds, you can just press this. I found that to be a very big convenience. You have a shortcut to the camera button, music application, and some other things over here for phone book and calendar. This is absolutely unnecessary, and I wish I could change the function of this. This also takes you to the AT&T home page. Again, something I would probably never use because there's nothing there that's useful to me. Turning over to the side, we have another proprietary jack, but Motorola is smart. They give you a converter jack that converts to mini USB. Very nice. And further, they give you a converter jack to a 3.5mm headphone jack. so that you don't have to use proprietary headphones as you do with the BlackJack. So Motorola was thinking there. On the bottom we have an AT&T branding. On the other side, we don't have a scroll wheel, if you've noticed that. This isn't a scroll wheel. This is actually the volume up and down button, but you can use it to scroll through pages. And it goes kind of slow, so I really wish this had a scroll wheel. Here's a back button and a select button. On the top we have nothing. I'm not sure what that is. It looks to be possibly a hole for a lanyard, so it doesn't fall off when you're holding it. And that is the Q9. So to wrap up part 1 here, I want to choose a winner. Which phone has the best hardware based on basically an aesthetic standpoint? And the answer is the BlackJack II. It's sleeker, it's sexier, without the need to make the back larger by adding an extended battery, because it comes with the extended battery. It's not as wide, so it feels better in your pocket, and it feels better in the hand. It really does. As you'll find out soon, the keyboard on the Q9 is far superior to that of the BlackJack II, but you can't have everything, right? I just wish that they had used a different coating on the BlackJack II, because as you can see, it gets dirty quite fast, and you may want to carry one of these around with you to keep it clean. Although sometimes that doesn't even work. Alright, that's part 1. See you soon.